Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Pikmin Master 123, and this is turn 1 of the Clay Soldiers Civilization. Cyan team was actually the first team to reach out and give their plan. First of all, here is their chest. The Clay Soldiers themselves cannot open it just yet. However, inside are the weapons for 2 ranged Clay Soldiers, 3 melee Clay Soldiers, 5 armor, which is the leather, and 3 healing apples. Cyan team was actually very specific on what they wanted. First, they wanted to arm their unit in the tower, so he got his gravel, he got his armor, which means he has a ranged weapon, and now he has a wide field of vision where he can pelt enemies. On top of that, they said to find a concentrated area right here, and we're gonna give them all melee weapons, and then give all those guys armor and food. So they all got their armor, and oh, I hope the last guy got his apple. And then now, within this, we make one archer next to all the melee units. So here he goes. There's his gravel. And now, he will be throwing that gravel at enemies that come near them. And right now, there's a population of 16. So that means on top of their base 1 spin, they get 5 more spins, which is in total 6 spins, of breaking resources. So I'm going to converse with Cyan team, and we're going to see what they want. Sorry about that, guys. If you're wondering what this cut is for, I'm actually getting out the official rules. Okay, so every 3 clay soldiers is 1 gathering spin on the random wheel of spinning. This means that they can gather 1 block of the team's choosing up to 1 time. This does not include farms. Those are automatic, meaning that people don't actually have to decide what they want to do. They just have to have a couple of people running them. Now they start with 1 on a basis. So instantly they're going to, no matter what, get 1 gathering spin with an extra 1 for every 3 clay soldiers. Because if there's only 1 clay soldier left, then they're going to be an instant 1 turn, not 1 extra turn. It takes 3 successful spins to gather any mineable block. Now, if one of those spins fails and gives you nothing, it doesn't actually count. So if they're successful with all 6 spins, they will break 2 wood blocks here. Let's say that they wanted to break some leaves and some wood. They can assign a certain amount of gathering charges to each of them. It takes, like I said, 3 successful turns of a resource to exhaust it / remove it / destroy it. And the buildings around it may or may not shorten or expand that depending on the tech that they get. And sometimes, depending on the type of tools that they may receive, aka weapons, this may give you extra charges. But for right now, they have 6 charges, all used on breaking the wood blocks of the closest tree to their main area in order to both remove the tree and to get some nice resources. And they also specified that they wanted to start from the top to the bottom. Leaves are also a resource, so those will be kept on the tree even if we're removing it. We will specify this later. Now onto the spins. Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to see what Cyan rolls as the resources for their 6 chances. 2 sticks. 1 stick. 2 sticks. 1 wood and 1 stick. 3 wood. And 1 wood. And welcome back. The Outpost is Cyan's special or unique building relating only to them. It is an ancient outpost which was left here for quite a while. Originally shown to be theirs. It costs 4 sticks and 4 wood for its first tier of upgrades, or in this case, repairs, as they are repairing it back to its former glory. And the amount that it costs is the amount visually that will change on the building. Same with most of the other upgrades for other buildings, although there are some exceptions, because sometimes you can't see certain things, and sometimes they will cost that to be able to produce something for you. But if you were to upgrade a building, let's say this, to a high enough tier that it uses wood and becomes a full-on wooden house, you'll be refunded however much wool was originally used that got replaced by the wood, but it would cost wood. Cyan team can actually get the wool back to be used on more houses or other upgrades in the future. Cyan team's plan is to repair some of the tower, and one of the blocks has been used to make a torch. On top of that, Cyan team is replacing some of the rotten and worn down wood on the tower. Finally, 2 sticks are being used to make it more structurally stable. The outpost is now partially repaired and can now house a total of 2 troops, whether archers or otherwise, on top of it. Now, they then told me to station a guy up there, but not the archer. They told me to actually station a melee guy up to protect the archer on top of the stairs. So I'm just going to grab one of these random dudes. And then, first of all, you know what? I think I could have just thrown a brick and someone could have come up here. And we have our stair guard right here. Now, as you can see, the brick actually causes them to stay in place, which is a very handy upgrade. And this guy will now be able to defend the archer from anyone who comes from down below. What they also said is eventually they might want to change this guy up with an archer instead, and that is completely up to them. But for right now, this is the end of Cyan's turn. They also said to put the rest of the resources up in their chest and safeguard them, meaning don't let their clay soldiers get at them by putting a clay soldier in here. For what they could do, Cyan team has started with a decent opener, and that outpost of theirs will be very important in the future. And without further ado, guys, we're going to be moving on to the next team. The Red Raiders, a brand new name for the Red team, has decided to expand south to bridge towards land, and the 2 priorities is number 1, break this block right here, and number 2, and they said to use this frontal area of the ship as their starting point for their bridge to the land. And they're also going to start taking down their largest mast, block by block, for all the wool resource, the fences, the wood, because they didn't bring that much with them. They only have the ship itself and some supplies for the troops and the people. Each vertical block of wood will take 3 turns to take down. They get the full refunded price of that entire level, including any other wood blocks and other blocks at that same level. This ship counts as a key building for the Red Raiders. If it falls, its people will suffer greatly, especially because of all of the beds and all the resources inside of it, which means it's the only lifeline for the Red people. In a way, it is sort of a key building or monument that they must protect at all costs, even in battles. We're going to see how they spin for this turn with their 8 spin tokens. Spending 3 on this, and the rest are going into this mast so they can unlock these 8 trapped people up here and free some of their weapons and supplies. So we're going to see how they do right now. And now time for the 8 red spins. 2 wood. 2 sticks. 1 wood, 1 stick. 1 stick. 3 wood. 2 wood, 1 stick. 1 wood. And 1 stick. And with this beginning opening right here, the Red Raiders are officially a kingdom, because this ship also counts as a city, which means that it will receive a city gate, which allows them to be attacked and not able to be fully taken over in one turn, allowing Red Team to be able to strategize against any enemy attack in the future, because every official city instantly gets a gate, which can be upgraded to stronger forms in the future. Red Team can order singular people off the ship onto land once the bridge is finished, but due to it being level 1, it cannot move many people. We have finished converting the resources according to how Red wants it, and first of all, they wanted to put almost all of their resources into this bridge. This bridge is a key aspect of their survivability and their hopes and dreams, necessarily. And that has been their 12 charges of oak fences. For right now, this is going to be a form of the weakest bridge. They're going to need lots more resources in order to fully build out this bridge. All resources left over are going to be returned to the ship. These resources themselves are going to be useful in future building attempts. Not much done, but enough to get them started. Well, that's the end of Red Team's turn, but I wanted to explain something really quick. Red's win condition for right now is to keep this ship alive. That is their one and only goal. Now, they might have to sacrifice parts of it and damage their own ship for now, but their main goal,
at least for this part of the game, will be to keep this ship alive, as it's their one and only lifeline. Now, this ship also will give them a lot of hope in the future, but for right now, they will become angry over time due to both lack of food and also some other reasons that, well, may or may not be revealed in the future. And it's up to their government to figure these things out. Now, their government is doing a good job so far, just as some of the other governments, and we'll be going to the next one right now. And welcome to Yellow Team, also now known as Flickering Fireflies, the brand new team name that they came up with almost last second. Their first part of the plan is to actually collect these charges, which is 16 fences. Now, the first thing that they wanted to do was actually expand this area inward in order to free this one guy. So now they have more room and more population. The next thing is to expand out to this tree over here. They really wanted to head north, which they did right here, as this direction is north. So they wanted to try and delay unhappiness by expanding their bedding. However, for right now, they cannot expand their bedding. They do not have the proper resources. They want to... Man, this is actually confusing reading this stuff. Okay, they want to break 2 of these grass blocks completely, so that will take 6 charges. They have a total of 19, so they have 13 left. They would like to use another 6 charges on the wood itself to chop wood from the tree, and then they wanted to use 7 charges on the leaves. So that means we're going to spin the spinner 6 times for this, 6 times for the tree, 6 times for the leaves, and then a 7th time for the leaves. And then on that, if they can, they want to try and upgrade this wood storage right here. Now, it could be a little bit costly, but they want to see if they can try and do it. Actually, they did sort of say open this area. You know what? I'm going to leave this off for them to decide later, see what they want.
This is the grass resource table. On it are a couple of key notable things. One is the seeds, which are used in building farms and farming. Then there's dirt, which is just a building block that can be placed on the natural map at ground level. Then we also have the rare chance of getting wheat itself, or one of that color's flour. Wheat is used for the food and some other buildings, and the team's flour is a currency that's used in trading within that team, buying resources, and trading between other teams. Yellow grass spin. Nothing. 2 seeds. 1 seed. 2 seeds. 1 seed. And one of color's flour. Now for yellow 6 wood spins. Now for yellow 6 leaf spins.
They got a really good and lucky last spin. Saplings are very important in this game for wood farms. And welcome back. So right now, yellow team has acquired 4 wood, 8 sticks, 1 sapling, which is a very good find, 1 flower, another very good find, and 5 seeds. Now, they did not complete one of their spins, meaning it failed, meaning that there is still a leaf right here that has not been completely mined out yet, which is sort of sad. Also, all of their leaves up here have been completely mined out. They got all of their spins. Everything worked out perfectly, and surprisingly, they did pretty good for themselves. But now it's time to double check their plans to see what they want me to do with these resources. Okay, they wanted me to put all of this into the wood storage upgrade. However, sadly, they did not get enough oak planks to actually initiate this upgrade. They need a little bit more and just more oak resources. Now, they did get some good resources for the future. However, they can't be used just yet because they didn't tell me that they can use these things. So, For right now, these are being put into storage for them to use at a later time. And that concludes the rest of Yellow's turn, which they did expand a decent amount. They got some land back. However, in general, they need to do this more, and they also need to mine some more wood. But we'll see what becomes a priority very soon.